The Minuteman concept. You know, that's what our nation was founded on. Being ready to defend your nation, your freedom, your liberty from foes foreign and domestic. Why is it that that's become such a foreign notion today in today's modern world? You know, I feel that one of the things about America is that we have always been a very fiercely independent nation, focusing on freedom, focusing on keeping our families safe, and that self-defense is a primary part of what we believe as a country. And also, in all the writings, you see it, that all the great founding fathers said, guys, you've got to be diligent and you've got to be vigilant to protect your freedoms. And so I think that's one of the things about Minutemen that it's very important. And you know, you have a family or you have a neighborhood, and in case a crisis or anything happens, you always want to be ready. Now, one of the things that's really brought this home to me about Minutemen and about being ready at a moment's notice was when I got my first invitation to the TNP shoot, and that was the Nutnfancy project, which is an incredible time to go out and do a lot of tactical shooting, have a lot of fun, get together with your gear, and doing a lot of testing and trying out your system. So for that self-defense, that Minuteman situation. But one of the things that really hit me was when I first received my email, and he had sent just the GPS coordinates, and he said, meet here at this time and be ready to shoot, and here's a list of things that you're going to need. And you know, I really thought about that. It was a pretty cool concept to be able to be at a moment's notice, have your gear prepared, and then to meet at a certain location. And so from there, I really started thinking strongly about the Minuteman concept with my own system. Now, I had mentioned this email that I had received with all these with a list of different things that we need once we got out there, and I have been had many requests to go through this list. I did show what I was taking, got myself actually outfitted, and you know, showing you through a video. But I'm going to go through the list of things that he recommended and to be ready at a moment's notice. And I hope this will be helpful for you. There are a lot of things, though. This was a competitive shoot. It was a lot of fun. It was a tactical shoot. So this isn't necessarily a bug-out system by any stretch of the imagination. Now, of course, top priority was having a centerfire semi-automatic rifle that is squared away. And he's defined that by a gun that was very accurate, reliable, and that had been tested, proven, so once you took it out, you weren't having a lot of difficulties with it. One of the things, you could shoot irons, but optics were important. Now, on this Bushmaster here, I have a Leatherwood CMR scope. This is the scope that I used at the TNP shoot. It was a 1x4 CMR, has a lighted reticle. This scope, and I tested it thoroughly before I got there. One of the things he said were people had shown up in the past pulling a scope out of a box there in the field, putting it on, zeroing it in, taking way too much time. I had really thoroughly tested this scope out. By the time I got out to TNP, I was excited about what this scope could do, and it did not let me down. In fact, I've shot it many times later. I really like this Leatherwood Hilux CMR, and I'll give you links to some of this stuff also as well. Another thing about the rifle is to have a light. Now, I'm not big on the most innovative, what's going on all the time. I'm building to those things as I go along. But this little Scorpion light, I've had for a long time. And one of the things he said was attach a light with a 1-inch scope ring. If you have a handguard, of course, you can attach these same mounts to a plastic handguard. You know, you can attach one directly to your handguard. Here, of course, I've got it mounted. It makes it really easy. It's just a touch button here, and it makes it really simple to grab. But my rifle was decked out. Actually, I have since moved this scope from this rifle. I have my Trigicon on this rifle. I did carry it with the collapsible stock. And as you can see, I have a single point sling. And that was one thing that he recommended. I have different slings. I'm getting ready to do a review on a 3-point, 2-point, and this single point sling and do a comparison. But for a lightweight rifle, the 1-point sling works really well, and it's very convenient to use. As far as ammunition goes, we were to carry 300 rounds of centerfire ammunition for our rifle. Now I'll tell you what we did. In our magazines, you were only to load 10 rounds in each magazine, rifle and pistol, and then 100 rounds of ammunition for your pistol. I carried the HPR 223 and the 9mm, and I'm going to tell you, I have not had one single malfunction, any problem whatsoever. This ammunition is extremely accurate and reliable. From Arizona, I've done reviews already. I will be doing some more. I'm really excited about this ammunition, and two, just because they're from Arizona, standing up for this state that's really working for freedom. But this is the ammunition that I took. Also, 400 rounds of 22. He did recommend either CCI mini mags or Winchester Super X. I really like the CCI mini mags. They function in almost anything. Some of the most finicky guns will function the mini mag. Now, as you see, I have a Glock 17. We were also to carry 3 spare magazines for your gun. Of course, you could carry more. And mag pouch. This is a little Maxpedition double mag pouch. And I had it actually attached to this little Maxpedition mini tactical vest, which was perfect. It was lightweight. It does a cross across your back. Had the mag pouch, my pistol mag pouch, mounted to the front. Very pleased with this system. Very lightweight, very small. We were in the desert, so it was very nice to have this system. I kept it on almost all day long. Now, because I did not want to carry my pistol cross draw, and that's the way Nutnfancy likes to do it, and I understand the advantages. I personally just like it on my hip, not lower down. I like it just right on my hip, and that's just the way I like to shoot. I have this Bianchi UM84, and it works extremely well. I put it on a basic pistol belt, which I also had this little Maxpedition roly-poly, and this was a great drop pouch. And as you can see, it just pops out. I've done a review on this as well. Great for dropping your mags in. One thing I'm going to tell you about it, if you get the basic, the standard, is to cinch this up. If you cinch it up and make it where when they go in, they don't come bouncing out. I think some of the guys had these open without cinching them, and some of the mags were popping out. So you need to, and it's an elastic band, so it works well. Now, we were to also bring a 22 rifle, which we ended up not doing the 22 part of it, but he recommended we bring a 22 rifle squared away as well. And here you can see a Tapco Intrafuge stock on this, which gives it a lot of the basic handling characteristics of an AR-15. Just an excellent. I've done a review on this as well. I love Tapco products. I will be doing some more Tapco reviews coming up soon. In fact, I'm going to be doing a 922R compliance and some AR-15 stuff. So, but with 30 round ramline mags and also a light. But this is just a Ruger 1022, and then a pistol that'll shoot 25 yards for 22, and of course my old standby, the Mark II 5.5-inch bull barrel, of course with extra magazines as well. I carried 3 extra magazines for this. Now, lights are important. I do have another Scorpion that I had separate from this one that I brought with me, and also he recommends a headlamp, and you know, this is a little Petzl headlamp. It's nice. It's not one of the new state-of-the-art, but it functions well, and so I took that. Also, parts, a few parts and a cleaning kit. He said he did have some gear there, but this was, I just brought this an extra little emergency field kit with some tools and a cleaning kit. Of course, one of the mottos of the trip was safety first and fun second. And here I have some, these are actually high-impact sunglasses. I actually did have just a regular pair of amber shooting glasses with me on the shoot, but I use these a lot. And then I like earplugs when I'm shooting a lot of scopes, but of course, you know, you can use the head muffs as well. And then here's a pair of mechanics gloves also to wear, which are important to protect your hands, because we were running and diving down, and that's why these Knee pads were so important, and again, you know, I've done a review on this as well, but the scratches, this is just from one time of use, just the scratches, a very important piece of gear to have in your system. Of course, I had just some shoes. I got some kind of high ankle shoes, but not boots. These are great for running, which we did a lot of, and some wool socks to keep my feet dry. And then ACUs. One of the things that he said in the email, which I will include this email in the description. I'm going to put the list. I'm not going to do the whole email because there's a lot of information that is private, but I'm going to send you a list of, I'll just include the list of stuff that he recommended. But here you can see a pair of ACUs. I actually only wore the pants because I wore this Columbia Outdoor Wear heat shield shirt that kept the moisture off, and it was just a wonderful shirt. I love this, and it feels really good and it keeps the moisture off. Of course, a hat. I have this Maxpedition hat as well. As you know, I love Maxpedition, and of course I have more reviews coming up from Maxpedition as well. Then of course a regular belt for your pants. But that just kind of gives you an overview. Here is a Black Hawk holster for the Mark II. But that's just the things that he recommended that you carry. He did have a list of things like the Condor vest, and also he did this quite often, was if you didn't have a vest, he said, I have extra vest. If you don't have a rifle, I have some extra rifles, and made it just very easy. I did go out and pick up a few things, but one of the things that this really did for me, of course, let's see, one thing I've got here is for the flight out. I bought a nice hard case. You need to have one that has multiple locks that can't be pried open once it's locked down, and you know, there's a bunch of different ones to choose from, but this is the one I chose from, and it was excellent on the flight out. Of course, speaking of lights, extra batteries are important for your optics. Extra batteries, I didn't need them, but it's just great to have. I was actually planning on carrying a second rifle with me just in case I had any issues with my first one, but the case just wasn't big enough to fit both. And I really, even though I have a Trijicon ACOG, as you can see, which is a really high dollar, high quality scope, the CMR was beautiful out in the field. You know, I like the sheepdog concept, but you know, Minuteman, I think maybe even really focuses in on what it's really about. Not only protecting you and your own, but protecting your freedoms and liberties on a bigger scale. And you know, an armed society is very difficult to introduce tyranny into. And I think it's very important that we remain vigilant, that we remain strong. And one of the things about this whole experience for me is it got everything that I had together. It got my systems together. I went ahead and made that step forward and made sure that everything was squared away. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you're squared away. If you are you know, you have your centerfire rifles, have your extra magazines, make sure you have your ammo, work with your systems. You know, of course, there's food and water to be considered, but that's in another video. But as far as TNP and being ready and practical, I think that that was one of the best experiences I've ever had as a tactical shooter, and definitely as a survivalist, but most importantly, as a Minuteman. So I want to say thanks for watching. But I also want to give a special thanks to the TNP crew and for all the work they did. So God bless America. Long live the Republic. Hasta la vista, baby.